Morning, Ravens fans. Happy Victory Monday to each and every one of you guys. Coming up, we got some major news that came down late last night that impacts the Baltimore Ravens in their race to a third straight AFC North division title in a big way. Make sure you stay tuned to hear what that is. And if this is your first time being here, welcome. We're happy to have you. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. Since we're talking the AFC North, AFC North standings, AFC North race, playoffs, everything, make sure subscribe so that way we can beat Steelers Talk, Browns Report, Bengals Breakdown in our Monday race to 50 subs. If you want to be at the top of the AFC North, it starts right now, and it starts with you. So if you haven't joined us yet, subscribe. The AFC North sits like this now after the first 11 weeks of the season. The Pittsburgh Steelers still in first place at a record of 6-4. The Baltimore Ravens in second at 5-5. Bengals, they're 2 games back from second, 3 games back from first place at 3-7. Joe Burrow possibly to the rescue soon. And then the Cleveland Browns, they are down. They are out of it pretty much at 2-8, sitting 4 games back from first place with 7 left to play. Let's talk about the other side of the AFC North. As we know, the Ravens took on the Browns yesterday. Well, the Steelers and the Bengals played each other, and the Pittsburgh Steelers absolutely dominated. The final was 34-12. Steelers looked probably the best they've looked all season defensively, and there's something very interesting about this graphic on the screen. I'm going to play Dora for a second, and I'm going to let you know you should look for something that would stand out to you and look right now. Did you see it? Mason Rudolph, their leading quarterback, 12 for 16, 127 yards and a touchdown for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not Aaron Rodgers. Why? Well, Aaron Rodgers had to leave the game with a wrist injury, and Adam Schefter dropped the news late last night. This is what we're talking about today, that the initial concern is that Aaron Rodgers has, in the words of one source, a, quote, slight break his left wrist. But the Steelers quarterback will undergo further testing on Monday, today, to determine the full extent of the injury and how long he'll be sidelined per league sources. Brook Pryor gave us a little bit more backstory, saying Rodgers landed on his left wrist and hand as he was tackled after throwing the ball away on second and goal with just seconds left before halftime. He stayed in for one more play after a timeout, but the hand appeared to have blood on it when he went to the sideline during Chris Boswell's 25-yard field goal. And Mike Tomlin got asked about it after today's game, or yesterday's game, excuse me. He says, I don't have the answer to that. To be honest with you, I'll have more info next time. Guys, this is huge for the race, for the AFC North, okay? Because I don't really care necessarily what you think about Aaron Rodgers at this point in his career. I think we can all sit around, look each other eye to eye, and say the Pittsburgh Steelers are better with Aaron Rodgers as their starting quarterback than they are Mason Rudolph. And sure, maybe he looked good against the Cincinnati Bengals, right? Was 160 yards and a touchdown. Whatever. Do we really think he's going to be able to sustain that through the rest of the season as their, as their competition level ramps up? I mean, look at the games they've got left on their schedule. Chicago, Buffalo, Baltimore in week 14 and 18. Miami's kind of starting to throw a couple wins together. Detroit, Cleveland, who's got a great defense. Now, I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers is going to be out to week 17. We don't know for sure. All we know is that most likely if it's a hairline fracture, he'll be out 2 to 3 weeks. But if it is a clean break, he will be out at least 5 weeks, possibly more. And depending on how bad the break is, that could maybe even mean the end to his season. This has massive implications. And I feel like Baltimore's catching a little bit of a break here because they've got a big game on Sunday against the New York Jets. And if they win that football game and the Steelers lose to the Chicago Bears, then guess who now has jumped into first place in the AFC North, or at least is tied for first place in the AFC North? Your Baltimore Ravens. They're still not in the AFC playoff picture, fortunately, as we sit. The Denver Broncos, in their win yesterday against the Kansas City Chiefs, have the top spot. You got the Patriots at the number 2 seed at 9-2, Colts number 3 seed at 8-2. And then the Steelers right there at 6-4 at the number 4 seed right now. They would be matching up to play the Buffalo Bills in the first round. But you got Baltimore in the hunt. They're sitting at 5-5 with Houston and Kansas City. The unfortunate thing about that is both Houston and Kansas City have the tiebreaker over them, but guess who doesn't care about tiebreakers? Division champions. That's who. Do the Ravens make the playoffs? Give me a yes or a no in the comment section down below. Let me know your answer. For the rest of today's show, after we tell you about our sponsor, we're going to talk a little bit about my overreactions from yesterday's game, as we do most Mondays. But, of course, before that, we got to give a word of our sponsor, our great friends over at PrizePicks. If you download the app right now, use our code CLNS. You get $50 in lineups. All you got to do is play your first $5 lineup. This episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. The hard-hitting football action is even better with PrizePicks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So, keep the season rolling on PrizePicks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. PrizePicks is the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. Want to pick more on Lamar Jackson's pass yards, rush yards, and touchdowns? Now you can pick all of them in the same lineup only on PrizePicks. On PrizePicks, how you play is up to you. If you want flexibility, choose FlexPlay, where you can get paid even if one of your picks misses. And if you want the biggest payouts, go for the Power Play. No matter your play, PrizePicks is a great way to put your takes to the test. Here's my PrizePicks lineup from yesterday's game against the Cleveland Browns. I just want to show you an example of how great PrizePicks tool of FlexPlay is. So, if you FlexPlayed this, you still would have won money because the Derrick Henry one, more, 3.5 yards on first rush, boom, good. Andrew Schmidt, more than 1.5 field goals made, boom, good. However, Keaton Mitchell did not find the end zone. But if you would FlexPlay that, it gives you that flexibility to lose one and still win money. So download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. The link to this promo is in the comments and description of today's video. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Our 5 overreactions. We're going to roll through these rather quickly. Number 1, I'm seeing this all over the place. I am not happy to win that game. You played Shedeur Sanders. You played Dylan Gabriel. You played a 2-win Cleveland Browns team. You shouldn't be happy to beat them that close. And I call BS on that. That is the biggest overreaction. And frankly, it is the stupidest overreaction I'm seeing on social media anywhere. That to me is unbelievable. You were 1-5. Through the first 6 weeks of the season. And we're going to sit here and complain about victories and minimize victories in the National Football League? No. You might do that. I'm not going to do that. That is stupid to me. Sure, it was a close game. Guess why it was a close game? Because they got a pick 6. Because you muffed a punt inside the 5-yard line. That's 10 points right there. That's 10 points right there. Just handed to the Browns. Other than that, they score 6 this game, and you win very comfortably. Number 2, a lot of people saying Lamar Jackson's cooked. He's done. He's toast. He's hurt. He's not good. Look, guys, it's Lamar. Sure, he probably wasn't 100% healthy. Do I believe he's going to practice tomorrow? I don't know. We'll find that out when we get there. But let's be real. He's not cooked. He's allowed, like every single one of us, to have a bad day or a bad game every now and then. Overreaction number 3. Todd Monken sucks. Seeing this one a lot. Now, I don't think Todd Monken sucks. But I do think something has to get figured out when it comes to our goal line offense. Because if that can't get fixed, I don't feel really good about this team's chances to win a lot of big games down the stretch. Because really good teams, especially in the playoffs, typically have really good defenses, which means goal line possessions are at a premium. So when you get them, you better score. And you haven't been able to do that all season. It was not just against the Browns. It's been all year long. Overreaction number 4, the defense is back. And baby, I am buying into this. This is not an overreaction to me. You have now, gained 4 straight games of 17 or less points against the Rams, against the Dolphins, against the Vikings, and now against the Browns. Maybe Vikings, Browns, not as impressive. Rams, Dolphins, super impressive, but they're just making plays. They're flying around. They're playing with swagger. Excuse me. How about Kyle Hamilton getting that sack and going, after sacking Shador and then hitting him with the Shador. I loved it. And number 5, you shouldn't lose another game. This is probably an overreaction, but also at the same time, like, the way this team is playing, the talent that it has on this roster, I don't think it'd be crazy if I picked them to win every other game they play. I feel good about this team. I feel good about how they're playing, and I feel good about the future. Do you think the Ravens are back? If you do, hit that thumbs up button, like today's video before you get on out of here, because we're about to get on out of here. We'll have a video up later today. Make sure you guys check it out. Make sure you got me followed on social media, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Ravens Rundown, daily coverage, right here.